With everything that we know and the mountains of evidence against Amber, you would be forgiven to assume that no one actually stands with Amber anymore. But the reality is, there's actually a huge amount of people who just blindly stand with her no matter what. Unironically, even. You'd think anyone posting, I stand with Amber Heard would be doing it for satire. But no. No, the truth is much more scary. And we're gonna look at some of these best, absolutely logic devoided tweets and just make fun of them for a little bit. Here we go, the first one. Even if you don't believe Amber, to be a woman and defend a man who calls women cunts and jokes about killing and raping them is beyond me. So, this tweet says essentially that it doesn't matter that she's wrong, it doesn't matter that Johnny's right. Since Johnny used language that she did not approve of, no one should be on his side, and it no longer matters that he could be potentially right and she could potentially be wrong. Just the fact that he dares to use language that she does not approve of, he should be guilty and charged, and no one should be on his side, and everyone should be on her side because, see, he used mean words. Yes, this is the amount of logic that we're going to be seeing in quite a few tweets. It's pretty funny, honestly. Every sexist trope ever used to humiliate and discredit female accusers has been deployed against her at vast scales. Now, unironically, this is right. But that does not mean that that's a bad thing. You see, everything anyone ever does technically is a trope. Anything that anyone can ever do as an abuser falls under a trope, because there's not that many things you can abuse someone with. There's not many ways that you can discredit an abuser on a fake allegation. Everything falls under a trope. The fact that something falls under a trope doesn't instantaneously mean that it's incorrect or even that it's bad. Almost anything ever done can be quantified under a certain type of trope. And obviously, this is referencing an opinion piece. Every point of legacy media is still 100% on Amber's side. This is the crowning jewel of Amber's defense. This is why Johnny's wrong. This is that. This is that. This is that. The legacy media is completely still 100% on Amber's side. And this will most likely end with legacy media, no matter the result, saying that Amber was a victim and Johnny is an abuser. And the public opinion is obviously that Amber's a piece of shit. Johnny Depp, no angel, obviously, but most likely the victim in this case. Some would say Johnny is a gold digger for suing his ex-wife for $50 million. Now, first of all, I'm pretty sure while Johnny is not exactly a billionaire, $50 million for him is not exactly at this point, considering his vast amounts of wealth, something that he would mentally degrade his health over so much. Now that's one. Two, I know that this probably looks a little bit like satire, but then you look at the profile and speak up for Amber. Yeah, this is not satire. Oh no! This is serious. This is serious. Johnny's a gold digger for suing his. Well, that's how suing works. Essentially, you kind of need to sue for damages because Johnny's whole point is that there was damage dealt to his career and his personality and everything. That's why you sue. And why not 50 million? The court doesn't always afford 50 million. They may say, well, okay, you kind of won, but 25 million seems a little bit more reasonable, right? Oh yes, I forgot that let me start over. Oh yes, I forgot that to qualify as a domestic abuse victim, you need to have the same injuries as Rihanna, otherwise it doesn't count. So, what a great picture. Everyone knows that Rihanna was actually a victim of abuse. And here's a picture of Amber. Being on that sweet 16-hour non-stop gaming spree gamer life. Oh no, look at how abused she is. She got a cold sore on her lip, and she has drank 2 Red Bulls and 5 coffees a day while gaming 16 hours a day, so that's why she has bags under her eyes. This is hilarious. There have been people who have compared this image, considering this is the best image that she could provide, that she was beaten. And by the way, this is not just beaten, this is hit so much that she lost count of how many times she was hit with a fist by a man. Oh yes, let that sink in for a moment, because let's be real, that needs to sink in a little bit. But yeah, this is the best picture that she provided, while Johnny was an absolute monster year after year, time after time after time, and beat her senselessly after beating her senselessly. This is the most she was ever beaten. Take a nap for like 8 hours. Also, funny fact is, there have been people who have compared this image to how she looks while in court. And some days, she looks exactly almost like this. Which means there's a problem, because Johnny clearly beat her before she got to the courtroom. Someone should really, really restrict him so he can't just beat her every day before she appears in court. That's just barbaric. Yeah, no one thinks that this is it. This is how you look. And we're gonna go a little bit deeper in how she claims that she has been beaten. You know, you're not gonna believe it at all at some point. How can anyone see what Johnny Depp says about women and still support him at all? This alone should have been enough. Now, admittedly, yeah, he does use a little bit of spicy language here. If you want, you can pause and read it. It's honestly nothing absolutely too tremendous, because when you read this, it is very clear that this was after everything, and that he is 100% reacting to what she did. So he's obviously gonna talk in the most disrespectful way possible. But again, if you call someone a cunt or hoe or whatever, that does not mean that you are wrong. Calling someone a name that they don't like in no way invalidates your opinion most of the time. In any way, she doesn't act as a victim. Does he? Depp is constantly smirking, making jokes in court, being disrespectful towards Amber's team. Yeah, I'm sure he's gonna be real respectful against the woman who's trying to ruin his life, reputation, and make the world hate him. I'm very sure he's gonna be extremely respectful towards her and their team. Yet you're willing to believe him as a victim. Obviously, you haven't watched the trial, because I'm pretty sure almost everyone exclusively does at this point. The truth is, a woman is a perfect victim only when she is dead. Such amazing, such absolutely deep words. So this is completely stupid, obviously, as every single one of these tweets is. She doesn't act like a victim. Okay, so she doesn't act like a victim. And he also doesn't act like a victim. But that somehow in her eyes makes Amber correct and Johnny still wrong. Wow! So she doesn't act as a victim. That's okay. Johnny doesn't act as a victim. Oh well then, he must be guilty. The logic here is absolutely flawless on almost every level. Amber did everything right. That survivors of abuse are told to do. Document. Anyone who has watched the trial knows she hasn't documented shit. Her documentation actually backfires most of the time. And yet, she's still being ridiculed and harassed and not believed. Well, yes, have you seen her testimonies? They are absolutely full of holes. Johnny's defense team doesn't even have to defend him. They don't even honestly need to bring evidence at this point. They just can wait until Amber's team says something, and then they can just easily disprove what they just said as lies, or most likely untrue or unrealistic, just based on their own evidence against them. Really showcasing the ways that patriarchy socializes people into taking men's side no matter what. Ah, yes. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. So, most of Amber's evidence is shittily documented. That's one. Again, this is her best picture of being abused. Take a power nap, sweetie. Take a power nap and you'll be fine. Again, this is literally her best picture. While you have Johnny Depp literally missing and bleeding with a cut off finger, being in an ambulance and all of that, having actually scars on himself. Amber, nothing of the sorts. She claims that she was beaten, and the next day, every single time, by the way, every single time, she claims that he beat her senselessly. And you know what? They show pictures of her in the next day going out being absolutely fine. It's absolutely insane. It's crazy watching Amber's testimony as someone with actual legal knowledge because everything she said has made perfect sense. Now, you do live in some kind of bizarro world where everything she has said makes sense. Well, admittedly, everything she says on a standalone basis probably does make sense, but that's not how courts work. Courts work, she says something, and then the opposition disproves it in some way. And, well, Johnny's side has done it really, really good. Evidence all adds up to supporting her, and Johnny's lawyer hasn't made any valid arguments. Johnny's lawyers have not made any valid arguments. Holy shit. That's insane. But when it comes to TikTok, yeah, this is about TikTok. Well, yeah, everyone's on Johnny's side everywhere because people who even watch the trial for an hour instantaneously go on his side because Amber's side just flat out does not make any logical sense at all. Imagine, Amber Heard got beaten multiple times by Johnny. Like, one of her best testimonies was that Johnny Depp beat her with a closed fist while having multiple rings on the fist, and all of those rings were pretty big and chunky. He beat her in the head so many times that she lost count how many times he hit her. If I would hit a woman 3 times alone, she would look like Rihanna. If I would hit a woman 2 times with a single ring on the finger, there would be reconstructive surgery needed. So you're telling me this picture, by the way, this is one of those pictures which was argued as after he beat her senseless with multiple rings on his arm. He hit her so many times that she lost count, and this is how she looks. Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. No bruises, no nothing. If you're getting hit in the face with a ring, you need stitches 100%. Amber has never had stitches. Let that sink in. It's absolutely insane. Especially after, you have heard multiple times that there are phone call recordings of Amber literally admitting that she's the abuser and Johnny just walks away or runs away from their arguments so she doesn't get aggressive. It's a clown world. It's a clown world. Anyway, this was Quizzer Sensei, and thanks for watching. Subscribe, and have a nice day. Bye-bye.